Wrenches. I've got wrenches, and I'm going to show you how I was able to Chevy tighten two impossible to get to bolts and nuts, but I got them. The power steering bolt, I was able to get this cheap China wrench in there just enough. Look at that, it just fits. I was able to finger tighten it actually. Needle nose at first, then I finger tightened it. I was able to get in there and just snug it. Hard to believe, sure beats taking off the pulley. And this monster wrench is actually the smallest one they had, if you can believe it. They had 30s and 31s, no 32s. 32 is just over 1.25 inches, which is the nut on the bottom of the power steering box. So I bought the 31 and I ground it a little bit with my grinders. And I put it on the nut and I ground it to fit. And it fit. And I tightened it a lot. And I was able to tighten this up another half a turn. But that still doesn't explain why. I can see some of the splines showing between the pitman arm and the dust seal. There's still 1/8 of an inch, just about that much spline showing between the dust seal, which is not the way it should be, but that's the way it is. Doesn't quite go up far enough onto the shaft, but I tightened it and there's still only half a thread showing. And I had a full thread showing before, a thread and a half. So I tightened it as best I could, and she runs well, but it's also much warmer. And we're going to take the documentation to the motor vehicle and send it on its way and use the money to get me my life back. Because some people just can't let go, and I'm on the computer with YouTube trying to figure out how to get access to my money, because they say, oh, it's simple, just click here. Yeah, well, I've tried, and months have gone by. I haven't seen a penny. They're saving it up for me. Thanks for your help. MsHipChic said I should show the rest of the video. So I thanked you and I'm back. Crank her down. A nice Harbor Freight jack that was less than half price. Cheap. Everything's cheap at Harbor Freight. And the bugs are back. We got mosquitoes and flies and no-see-ums and all kinds of junk buzzing around. We got some Chipotle coupons a month ago in the mailbox. So I went to my apartment building and lo and behold, there was a whole bunch of them in the trash recycling bin. I took as many as there were. I should have gone to a few other apartment buildings. We've been eating for free up until last week. Probably had 10 free meals at Chipotle's contaminated food expense. Food contamination happens anytime, anywhere, anyhow. And I suppose as long as someone's not wearing a face mask, there's always a possibility. So next time you go get a job in food service, just think, in Japan, people wear face masks in grocery stores. I saw that when they had the earthquake several years ago. They showed a random security photo of the shelves shaking and then coming down, and the help was wearing uniforms, black and white uniforms, something you'd expect to see in a movie from 100 years ago, like The Great Gatsby. And they were wearing face masks, because why would you want to breathe on someone's food or things they bring in to their house? Whew. I don't know, this new DeWalt impact gun doesn't seem to get things as tight as the old one did that the guy never gave back to me, so we'll call it stolen. And we'll crank her up, take her for a drive, the last drive into the sunset. All done. Just about. Made in China. Fusion.